Vel'Koz just to annihilate a minion wave. I want to talk a little bit about set jungle though, because we have only seen it top lane thus far. I know, and I talk to a lot of the pro junglers just all the time trying to get tips and tricks, but they have all been practicing set jungle. In my opinion, I had more fun with it because chilling smite gives you more mobility than you're used to on top lane set. So any extra mobility does feel really nice. However, in the jungle position, it is much more difficult to fund a build of Trinity Force Sterix style, and the Death Dance is way out of reach. Yeah. So the super hard, like big carry, crazy unkillable set style builds are much more rare in the jungle unless you are super popping off. Very, very frequently though, you just get these full tanks with Cinderhawk, full defense set styles. I think those are actually really effective, especially if you can get Stone Plate, because with just Cinderhawk, little bit of health, Stone Plate, you can really soak it up. And you still get out Haymakers. You still, want to land the middle for true damage. So I think it's going to be a little bit different of a look from Set than we saw from Broken Blade Set, which was amazing for TSM and got them their win last week. Yeah. Now we'll see if Darduck can return the favor.
All right, into the game we go as TSM and DIGNITAS do battle. Dig off to a 3-1 start. Welcome back to the LCS. And Froggen gets his battle with Bjergsen. This time around, he's got a real team. See what he can do for himself now as we get onto the Rift.
Wait, where's the dig chance?
We got a couple.
There was like two half-hearted clipped dig chants at the end there.
All right, well, we got a quick word from Biofrost on reuniting with Bjergsen.
Bjerg's more constructive. I think he makes his feedback a little bit more constructive than before. When I first joined TSM, there's a little bit too much red energy, A little bit too much of like emotion. Now it's a lot more constructive. So I would say that's part of his growth.
That's one way to put it.
I would say that Freak is always red energy, by the way. He will always flame anyone in the vicinity, even if he doesn't have any malice towards them.
Nope, yeah, not at all.
Just because he thinks it's funny.
Shut up, Kobe.
Yes, sir.
And see, they left.
Got him.
Got him.
It's really nice to hear, though. People, everybody that goes in and out of TSM. Well, never mind. Let's watch this.
Q for a Q. 2 auto lead. Broken Blade popping off in the early laning phase.
Hey, nice counting, by the way.
Thank you. It's really nice of you to notice that.
Still got his Corrupting Potion charges going there. Used it for the extra burn on his trade. Won't have that much sustain left for himself, though. So we'll have to see if he actually makes use of that extra damage. Oh, yeah. Couple of groans there for some missed minions.
But it's equal farm.
Yeah. Froggen also took some damage while he was pushing up, too. So not only did he miss one as well, but also he's got a good trade in there. The earlier stages of Vel'Koz are a little bit more finicky until you can get your super clean insta double W cast.
Good sidestep, good stun though. Broken Blade out of turret range and takes one turret shot for the auto. I maybe take that one. Nice play by Broken Blade.
Yeah, I definitely take it. He's also pushing it up here on Huni. Let's see how he deals with jungle difference though, because oftentimes you look at a matchup in isolation and think, oh, what was a good trade? What was a bad trade? Is this even a winning matchup? Well, he knows that his jungler is bottom side of the map. Grig could have been there, but he's actually going mid. We'll see if they land this.
Ooh, almost a slow. If he ever goes left, he's in Goku range. Right now, there has to be a flash. You can react to that with Bjergsen's reflexes. So no gank to be found. Nice attempt.
And that right there, I honestly want to go back to looking at mid lane because that was the difference between our first game and this game. Bjergsen hovers down to the bottom side of the map where they have a ward. Safety side on the bottom side, so he doesn't put himself out there for the elites, for that cocoon you're talking about.
There's the trade of blows on the bottom side, and yeah, that's what you get with Braum. The shield comes up, you get the guaranteed stun on the way out, and Biofrost loses far more health than Aphromoo does.
Yep, they do push the wave in though, so now they get time to roam. They can go get a scuttle because Leona has a stun in her kit. Actually feels really nice if you can take that as a bottom lane. Maybe with Dardoch crossing mid though, he wants to claim the jungler bounty. That's gold that's rightfully his.
Well, right now it's pulling back to Skull Crab. Cash money in the pockets. Oh, there you go. Meanwhile, Grig just taking the high gold camp of Krugs. Takes the recall, 5 camps in. But you've got more farm and more done on Dardoch right now. Now he looks towards the bottom side, but I think a dive is so unlikely with the health bars as full as they are on Dignitas. Yeah. Just gonna make sure nothing stupid happens. If nothing does, takes the recall.
All right, challenging smite for him as well. So he's not even going for the skirmisher saber. Doesn't even need the extra mobility. We will have to check if he has Nimbus Cloak though, because he has sorcery. Okay.
He's running Nimbus Cloak and he's running Water Walking. So he's running the movement speed portion of the sorcery secondary tree, so that the red smite will still give him some movement speed, right? Nimbus Cloak got changed this season to move speed on summoner spell use, not on ultimate use. So just like smites for running.
Yeah, it's not nearly as effective as it being a skirmisher saber though with the Nimbus Cloak. I found it's a lot easier to chase build down with it, but
sure, blue smite is definitely.
Of course, you're going to have the extra defense as well. Goes a long way for jungle set because, of course, you are going to be lower in gold, so you need more combat effectiveness.
The top side fight, and they go back and forth. One quick recall was sent by Broken Blade to grab the Negatron cloak and walk back to lane. Froggen has to walk away as Bjergsen TP's in, and that's the first reset through. It's a bit of extra mana regen, bit of extra AP, and Bjergsen burns that first cooldown of the game. Froggen may do the same pretty soon, has cleanse for himself in case of a Syndra stun.
And Dardoch's just been on river patrol, controlling the area thus far for TSM because they get a recall out of Froggen. This dragon play may look bold, but that's all because Froggen recalled there, so they know there's no possibility of mid lane coming. And it is because of the difference in the summoner spells here. Froggen's running cleanse because he doesn't want to get Syndra stun comboed. Bjergsen uses the teleport, and that teleports gets him a dragon.
Nicely done. Very early pickup there, right? Has the upgraded smite, uses the W to turn around a lot of that damage, heal back up as well, and that's a nice early pickup there. Inferno Drake on the board for TSM. Gold State, a little bit Dignitas favored. Nice trade right there, good chunk. Oh, shoot comes down. Just seeing pretty good farm in a lot of spots, right? Actual gold is plus a little bit for Dignitas here. Dig again, trying to find this gank for Grig. Formerly on Bjergsen's team just a few months ago. Now against him, hoping he can find some pickoffs there. Walks right across the mid lane spotted, and now they know he's bottom side as Aframu recalls away. And we still sit neck and neck at a pretty close early game.
Broken Blade top side checking back in with the early Merc Treads versus Kennen. I actually do like it. A lot of people are like, yeah, Merc Treads, you're playing a lot for tenacity, but Kennen stuns are the real thing you have to worry about. Plus, you're getting your double effectiveness out of your magic resistance because it's an Elise jungle, so it's the perfect buy.
Yeah, I mean, look at the enemy team comp, right? It's like there's 4 from with hard crowd control, and then Aphelios chilling out there. It's like you definitely always buy Merc Treads.
Yeah, you're trolling if you do not.
Yep, exactly the correct choice there. Expect to see it on the set as well, and probably the Leona, although sometimes you want Mobies. And once again, waiting around for the next big play. It's actually been a fairly docile early game. The attempts at ganks were there. They sat in the side brush, but no real fight's been happening. Biofrost kind of learned from the first trade that you can't really E in on the Braum squad, apparently. So they're trading farm back and forth. But look at this 20 CS lead to Kabe. Now, there is a wave being pushed in that will answer back a little bit, but Kabe right now with the farm lead in that bottom side.
Yeah, pushing in, playing very aggressively for themselves. And we're approaching the 8-minute mark here, so the pushing team, which is Kabe, Biofrost here for TSM, should be able to get their Rift Herald swap off if they want. Looking at top side right now, Huni does have the ultimates ready for himself, but Broken Blade actually brings a lot to that fight as well. And Bjergsen ulting early because he's got the cooldown reduction here of blue buff in preparation for this fight. If they force the back from Froggen again, it will be another neutral objective.
Okay. Well, pushing in right now is this Herald's going to be going down at 8 minutes 20 into the game. And this is definitely TSM with continued control. Top got counterpicked. It was a nice flex with the set. Doc gave them push to the top side. They blinded the mid lane, but Bjergsen's doing a really good job landing up there as well. And now it's Broken Blade coming off the side to push Huni away. Herald picked up. Grig come back around, but no good fight.
And look at that. Merc Treads means you don't get chain CC'd out of your cannon stun.
Oh, the flash, the pull, the ult's on the top. Huni forced a flash away. There's the dunk, a flash away for Grig. Big damage coming in, but it's too much for Broken Blade. They fall around him, and Dignitas gets first blood.
Yeah, should have walked away with the flashes taken there. Actually goes too deep under the tower. Locks him up in the end, and that stun is enough to get the kill under the tower, turning the kill back around on him. Take another look at him, chasing him down.
This part's good.
Yeah, Dardoch finishes up, he just walks away. And even, I would say even this part where they get the flashes out of him, because Dardoch is able to go get flash in, get a great double stun there into the Aurelia ultimate. Then they get the flash, and then the ultimate, they got Grig's flash too. But right here on the edge, Huni's able to get the stun this time around, locks him up under the tower. That being said though, go back to the objective count, Priest. The Infernal Dragon was picked up because of the desynced mid lane recalls. Second objective also, the Rift Herald picked up because Bjergsen unleashes the trade, uses the ultimate on Froggen, forces another recall from mid lane, and earns TSM that second objective as well. So the mid lane priority here has determined the early game objectives, and then it was just an over aggressive tower dive from TSM that gives the first blood back to Dig.
Grig knocks down a ward, has to walk away though. Whoa. So close to stun. Probably wasn't gonna die. You've got Repel for the ulti, so he's, usually okay, but reinforcements are coming. Biofrost goes for the ult, not repelled, the flash forward. They're stun chaining him. How does he get out? He tries to go to the other side of the map, but it's not gonna be enough. Bjergsen claims the kill. 3 assists on the board, pad the KDAs.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're not going to get out, you gotta repel Sona ultimates. Here goes Broken Blade on Froggen though.
Has to flash, the stun wasn't quite available, gets away from the slow. Broken Blade sets that one up a little bit there. Nice signs of life for TSM. As we know, they already got the neutrals. Go for another one on top of that one in front of Rick Crab. Mountain Drake is next, and no one's gonna stop them. With a dead jungler and a mid laner, counter force back.
Yep, TSM still happy with Grig there. This time around, they pick off Grig, and they get a dragon for it. Dardoch moves right in. Mountain picked up on top of the Infernal, and TSM continues stacking objectives.
Kobe, more likely to win the split, TSM or Dignitas?
Win the split?
Win the split. Which one's more likely?
I mean, this is a rando time to start that, but I'm still gonna go with Dig then, I guess.
All right, fair enough.
What prompted that?
It was on this or that with Jat and Cap.
Okay.
So I figured I'd just ask the reigning member of this or that, who's been on it for like 17 and a half years, that you get a chance to question too.
I am getting a bit old.
Yeah. The show predates League of Legends. You just, that show is just around. Well,
Did
denied.
you know they use the this or that format all the time in NFL, NBA, like all these random games?
Yeah,
And every
predates
time
League of Legends.
Every time another show uses it, people spam tweet me, and I like it. They're like, hey, you guys are the originators. You're the real this or that creators.
Yeah, League of Legends also the first MOBA, by the way. Completely original concept. Never before seen. Minions and heroes fighting in lanes. Don't research that at all. Just trust me at my word.
Side note, never trust Freak on anything.
Wow, that was very mean.
You know how they say do your own research?
Yeah.
That's incredibly true with Freak. Rift Herald used mid here for TSM though, and they're gonna get some turret plates for Bjergsen. Little bit dangerous though. He's gotta dodge the skill shots, and he does.
I don't think he was in range for the gold in that Herald charge either, so those plates aren't getting cashed in.
It's really dangerous because you pop the Rift Herald that early, there's 3 people sitting there. If you get hit by even Braum slow, they can probably chase you down. So you want to get close enough, and the range is actually very short. You have to be basically where Herald is when she starts her charge.
Yep.
To get that cash in, if you haven't already autoed the turret, that is.
Kobe, would you be willing to trade Flash for 2 plates?
Yeah.
It's like just maybe barely.
It's close because you're like, well, it's basically a kill's worth of gold, but you're not taking one of your opponents off the field.
Right.
So it's not as good as a kill.
But that's the thought, right? It's like, ooh, he could have, if he was willing to flash, maybe. And that's obviously a really tough call. Doesn't go for that play, which is completely defensible. And the topic is pushed in yet again by a Broken Blade. But Huni this point around, actually winning in farm, as you mentioned from that earlier dive, actually has the assist here as well. So that cannon working out pretty well, at least in the laning phase. We'll see what happens as time goes on. Dardoch still getting a lot of control. Gets another steal away, grabs that red buff.
The boss.
Whew, yeah.
He's teaching the former TSM jungler
Yep.
his new place.
I replaced you, and it was a good choice.
Woohoo!
That's what he's saying with all those moves.
Yeah, well, his new teammate is now here. Aphromoo is with Griggs, so Dardoch's got to be a little bit more careful. Doesn't have the numbers on his side.
And we look towards
They're
the top
headed straight
side
for him.
as ultis are burned, but Broken Blade has tenacity. Second stun comes in. And here comes the slow. No, it doesn't land. Pulls him back in. Knockum's not going to land there either. Finally landing something there, but Dardoch. Whoa, he shields kind of late, though. Doesn't really get any damage block. But he gets to walk out.
All right. That was a close one. Wipe off your brow a little bit there. Behind enemy lines for quite a while. Dardoch does escape. And the farm continues. Froggen does have the Luden's Echo now, too. So if he landed that W on Dardoch, that was definitely going to be a kill. Let's take a look at the fight over control wards, though. They're headed straight down the river. Starting it straight up. Actually, just clearing out all the minions. Okay, no AD carries will be involved in this Herald fight if they do spark one. Both farming away down bottom side. That doesn't mean they can't go for it, though.
Minions get traded back and forth on the bottom side with a 600 gold lead for Dignitas. The 2 Drake lead for TSM. Herald no longer hit anymore. 15 minutes in. Nothing picked up there, and we wait for the next big play. Both supports have gone Moby Boots. They sacrifice the combat stats to get to the right place at the right time, as is pretty much tradition for pro play. The waves go down, and Froggen grabs one as well.
And honestly, this dragon coming up is going to be more important than the Rift Herald. So all the wards that they just used up by the Rift Herald need to be repurchased and moved down to the dragon.
Gotta say, I missed the setup. I'm sorry. So much was going on in the early game. 168 CS, what was required for Bjergsen to get 100K all-time LCS minion kills. My brain wouldn't say LCS CS. I was like, that sounds wrong. But he's done it. Good job, Bjergsen.
I don't know. I don't get excited for lots of minion kills.
That's because you're a jungler.
Fair enough. Not really an award I'm likely to.
If it was 100,000 all-time Baron steals, you'd be hyped.
Oh, I would be really hyped for that. 100,000 Baron kills. Oh my.
You said you were excited for CS.
All right. Well, I could get excited for a dragon fight here. Dardoch's looking for a way in there on set. Does have the red buff for himself. They also push this mid wave. Mid wave priority acquired for TSM, allowing them to move into the river.
Nice poke. No oceans picked up yet for TSM, so none of that extra regen for anyone but Set, really. But look at that. Bjergsen gets a couple of shots off of that turret. Doesn't even get hit on the way back. Here comes the ocean pull here. Everyone is around. Huni, he's going to burn the TP, but Set's going to stop him. He's going to stop the teleport. Nice use of the ultimate, but it's not going to be an ult in the team fight, so doesn't even mean all that much. Finds a stun as well. Will they go in on Dardoch? They're going to find a bit of damage. Flash over the wall. Ooh, Leono's going to miss now as well. Broken Blade burns his stun on top.
A bit awkward here, actually. That teleport was going to behind the pit for a possible flank. Now they're going to start the dragon up again. Oh!
That's a nice shield in the way for Aphromoo, and a nice smite comes in for Grig. It does mean the mid turret goes down, though. TSM trade the Ocean Drake for the turret kill.
And they could transition up to the Rift Herald as well. They push mid lane here, and they're going to pull that one out. Rift Herald does not do much damage at all. All you have to do is dodge the cleave, basically, that she does when her eyeball opens up. So it's a very risk-free objective to actually start up at any time.
Looks like they're playing this one without much issue. Should be 2 Heralds picked up here for TSM. The first one really only did about 40% of a turret's health. No gold was earned from it, so that's 100 for killing it itself. Second one might actually knock down that turret, though. Of course, the remaining damage on mid was partially caused by that earlier Herald charge. And now we'll see if they can knock down something else. They summon instantly towards the top side. Should probably claim that turret as well, as Kabe's already pushing the wave in. That turret is low enough.
The walk away. I don't need to dirty my hands finishing off this turret.
Should be just in time. It's close, actually.
Imperial's gonna finish it.
Wow. He was a quarter
problem.
second away from not getting that 250. But does claim the gold. Right on track. Whoop. It's very satisfying, by the way, auto-attacking like a live Herald and just like chugging it from 1600 to dead. It's only with 25 gold, but it still feels really satisfying.
Yeah, because you
Oh!
do way more damage than you usually do
Satisfying.
with your auto attacks.
Killing can't.
That's fair enough. In the end, that turned out to be technically 2 tower kills for the dragon. So even though it was the 3rd dragon that set TSM up for the soul point, they did get a boost of gold right now out of it. And they do have decent positioning to try and focus on the last outer turret, which is bottom here. Whoop! Rooney gonna run through the extra brush provided by Ocean Summoner's Rift. And walk his way right back out. TSM focusing on that outer turret we're talking about. Get a little bit more chip damage on it, but Hooney's here to defend, and Hooney's here to get dove.
Yeah, well, his E is on cooldown, has the ulti though, and that might be enough.
He's got stopwatch.
Yeah, he's got a lot of tools to live, so that's unlikely to work out as Dignitas come down this side of the river. No one to fight though, TSM backed off enough. So it looks like bot lane might just be the apple of their eye. Shoving in now with everyone but Bjergsen, who's off to do mid control. That wave's already been pushed in. No one's answering that minion wave. So the Dignitas defense actually drops 6 CS as Bjergsen shoves one in, and no one's going to grab it.
Yeah, mid lane pushing has really been a big story for this game that hasn't had too many kills in it, but has had a lot of maneuvering for the objectives. And TSM opening up a lot more space to work with here. You can freely push those mid waves because they got that mid tower down. Next step, moving in to try and clear out some of these control wards here. Kabe farming right away along towards probably the Infinity Edge for himself on the Misfortune. Put some more power behind the ultimate as well as looking for those big crits. And on that power spike, I think they should be able to move in. Already you can see in the jungle, Dardoch is in there taking away the blue buff. So Vel'Koz will not be able to get another one. Or is he looking for a flank on Johnson?
The push for TSM still working. 3-0 in outer turrets. Look at that gold lead, 2,000 up. Good plays to them.
And Froggen is showing top right now with a non-teleport Vel'Koz, so TSM fishing around. Possible Leona set combination there, but good job by Dig. Nobody exposes themselves until...
Here comes the team fight. Big damage, and Dardoch goes down right away. Over the wall they go with the re-engage. Here comes the squad, but they've got Froggen. There's the laser, and Broken Blade goes down again.
Big 2 kills here for Dig. They absolutely annihilate him before he's able to get any sort of answer off in this. There's not a neutral objective up for it, so it is just the 2 kills, but it allows Hooney to push the bottom wave in, chip down this turret in preparation for the next dragon coming up. And you let one get away, Freak. Not that big a deal, but Ocean number 2, if that goes over to Team Dignitas, they take down the outer turret. They've got dragons now starting to stack up in their favor. Plus, look at this, how they get the extra money. It's a control ward placement here. Afromu slips back in.
He says, come here, they're face checking me, let's go.
And they do see him with the sweeper, but that Braum stun. Oh man, it feels good to kill a set with no W. He never gets time to get the haymaker off. Fully stacked up there with the grit.
Yeah.
And they 100% to 0. Braum stun into Cocoon from Grig. And he gets some payback on the new TSM jungler.
And Johnson was on green-white for his guns. He had the Chakram turret with a sniper rifle for the offhand. The marks reset your auto attacks, so you're just like throwing damage down in those cases. Put out absurd damage in that one and just pretty much one-shot that poor jungler who doesn't have any armor. He's got a Cinder Hulk and a Kindle Gem for tank stats. Blew him up.
Well, definitely well played. Stacking CC even into the Merc Treads there by Dig. And they cleanly pick up the Ocean in the aftermath. So early game, heavily TSM favored. But they make that mistake on the dive on top side. And from there, it got got a little scuffed for him. And Dig making good here on a couple of plays, punishing Dardoch and Broken Blade. See what they can do with it, because with that extra regeneration, it feels really nice when you have a lot of these longer range options too. If you can disengage and then circle back for another one, you've got Vel'Koz, and your second engage, you use the Ken and Flash. That will be a completely different story here. So, Dig clearing out the vision here around Baron and moving up towards Bjergsen.
This is a game I want to point out where actually the value of Merlin-Omicron Executioners goes up quite a bit, because we've got Dig with 2 Oceans already, which is in-combat regen, and the Soul is likely to come in as well, which is even more in-combat regen. So regardless of comp, you actually have a pretty high regen game where you actually really care about Grievous Wounds in your build. So you want to see that come through at some point, especially when they get towards Soul Point here, which Dig seems likely to grab. Good stun, good poke towards Dardoch, but he's very tanky. There comes the engage, good repel, but is there a re-engage? This could look very good. A little bit too early for Bjergsen. Cannot find the stun, and Grig gets out.
Yeah, he's gonna have to burn his flash in order to do so. So TSM do force a summoner spell with the pick and the Leona ultimate, but TSM get out unscathed. Nobody goes down. What can they do with this control over the red quadrant of the jungle? This right here, TSM have been able to infiltrate, push Dig out of their own space, and get down their wards looking for these picks. No Leona ultimate for the combo, but Syndra can often set them up herself. GLP plus stun can often get you an unsuspecting support play.
And here we are yet again. 2 item spike done for both the AD carries. There's really going to be a lot of power in both these squads. Misfortune's already maxed out for W by now, so you're going to have really good teamfight power in both these cases. Death cap done for Huni, obviously a really big deal as well for the backline access. And let's find out when these fights come through. Triforce done for Broken Blade. Sterix Gauge stacked up, plenty of time here. Or not Sterix, but Jarum's Fist.
Flank is going to be the name of the game here too, Grig. TSM are behind Dig right now, but they're so split.
Whoa! Grig is gone. The flash engage for Biofrost. The dunk on the top as well. Afro can't run away fast enough. That's going to be stopwatch for a second. Broken Blade finds Froggen. Hootie the backline will try to claim Kabe. Finally takes him down. Zonia's buys a second. There's the ult. Oh, that's some damage, but look at the team fight. It's 4 kills to TSM, only 2 for Dignitas.
Yeah, Dardoch doesn't go down in that explosion from the Aphelios ultimate. He barely survives it. So TSM come away with such a big victory. I said flank is the name of the game. Well, TSM won the game, Frank. That was a beautiful flank. They get the instant kill off that pick with this Syndra stun that we keep mentioning. 3 games in a row, 3 Syndras. The long range run does find the kill here as Grig watches over to the control ward, and they deliver to their old jungler. Yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about. Then Leona goes in, they get the full engage. Dardoch on set, full flank here. They even get teleport from Broken Blade, I believe, to get the full flank on Froggen, and they're chasing down the kills. Huni for Dig does get Kabe, and Johnson is going to be able to answer because 4 members are grouped up. So those are the Dream Infernum ultimates where you do get those kills. But he actually only got 1 with it. And in the end, TSM super happy coming away with the extra money.
Well, the respawn's coming in time. 30 seconds on Ocean Drake, and Dignitas first to play to push down mid lane. And they are clearing things away. Second turret now on the board, as mid tier 2 was cracked a while ago on the TSM side. We can see a 2,000 gold lead for TSM, a 2 turret lead as well. And here comes the 3rd Drake. Triple Ocean would be a lot of regen for Dignitas, but it's a pretty bursty TSM lineup. You're looking at what Bjergsen, Kabe, and Brooklyn want to do. It's usually pretty quick fights. Here we are, everyone now to the bottom river. There's the engage. There's Biofrost in the front. Huni gonna Zonia's first. Damage out from Aphelios, gonna kite back, but Aphromu's already gone. Oh. The engage towards Grig kills him as well, and Kabe just barely burns down. Leandries takes that one off, but Broken Blade gets the chase, and it's a 2-for-1 to TSM.
Froggen just annihilated Kabe. TSM are making this dream engage. Really good job there. Biofrost, he goes in, has the zone, has the stopwatch to be able to survive. If it wasn't for Froggen on that Vel'Koz, lasering Kabe, countering that Misfortune ultimate and getting that kill, this would have been a clean sweep for TSM. And here's another look at how they started it out. Even though Broken Blade's stun is down, Biofrost goes in. He does split the team there with the ultimate, but he gets the stun onto Huni. And taking away a good Kennen ultimate means that TSM actually get to chase down these kills. Bjergsen and Broken Blade finish off the 2 here in the bottom river, but Froggen's ultimate alone on Vel'Koz there, they're able to channel it on the channeling Misfortune, who burns down at the very end as he's walking away.
And it puts TSM on sole point. That Oblivion Orb should probably become Relonomicon before too long on the Froggen side, and he'll have time to do it in the next 5 minutes. But I think we want to see that one come through. Flat Pens on the board, got decent AP. And we wait to see what comes in next as Kabe goes towards some lifesteal. Doesn't want to make that, situation happen again, so auto once, maybe survive it all. Meanwhile, Johnson on the way towards that all-important Hurricane. With Infernum, it's a lot of damage.
Yeah, definitely has the strong guns available for a team fight. AoE ready at the willing.
That's another attempted stun. It's at least the slow. I'm going to back off.
Problem here for TSM is that Dig do have some decent ways to check this, right? They've got a decent amount of long range and poke abilities, skill shots they can throw out. But even though there's even more brush on Summoner's Rift, they're not as worried as some team comps would be around this Baron. And with TSM recalling, they get to sweep in, breathe a sigh of relief, take out a bunch of those control wards, and lay down some vision for themselves.
Nice little hit right there.
Look at your mini-map, though. Bjergsen right now split pushing on the Syndra. Because all the focus on Baron, he made it all the way up to that bottom tower. And Syndra, with all that AP, actually does a decent amount of towers with the auto attacks. He's chunking it down by himself while they're trying to stop back.
Oh, Afro's been stunned up. Bill's committed now as well. The rest of the squad showing up. 3v1, no way out for the Braum. TSM picks one up. Dardoch gets his first kill of the game.
They get the pick. They also got that turret that I mentioned. Bjergsen's able to finish it off all by himself. So TSM, 5v4 power play right now. Bottom tower taken away. Control of vision around Baron. And they're just daring Dig to come check it.
As they clear away a lot of this jungle, there's only the single ward. It doesn't see all the paths.
They do have Johnson's Scryer right now. So they have one blue trinket use available.
TSM are just tearing them apart across the map. They know they're 2 minutes from soul point. They don't really have to commit to the Baron play anyway. They're up 5,000 gold just in the mid game, just by playing the map better. Spreading their opponents out. I mean, 2 kills does not make 5,000 gold. It's all the farm and the turrets they're picking up. So TSM playing Dignitas like a fiddle.
Fully controlled game right here. 1.5 minutes left on that dragon to come up. Ocean Drake doing so much less than Baron and way less threatening, so you can just start it up, try and bait them. You can always turn without too much of a worry of it really hindering you. The slow is kind of annoying for whoever's tanking it to try and get out of the pit, but that is about it. We'll see about the setup for this fight, because once again, as we said earlier, the flanks are everything in this game. Set and Aurelia with Leona, they got TSM just fully surrounded Dig last time around, and they annihilated them. You can't really afford for your Aphelios Vel'Koz, two of the most high damage output, but also most vulnerable backline carries that you can draft.
And it's why Johnson went towards Phantom Dancer instead of Hurricane. It is a downgrade in damage, but an upgrade in durability. Desperately needs the health. 480 damage shield. Certainly a lot when you consider his health bar is not that big. And he's going to hope that's enough that he survives Broken Blade or Dardoch.
Dragon is set up, and there is no ward for Huni to teleport deep on. So Huni can't get a flank of his own. It would have to be a defensive teleport to the rest of the team. Broken Blade got it!
Blade finds 2 for the stun. The flash engage. Good cleanse away from Froggen. They find a stun now as well. Now's the re-engage. The dunk of the top, and Huni only hits on the 1. There's the pullback! And look at the bullet time over the top. It's 3 kills, make it 4, and Huni gets slowed again. It's the ace for TSM.
Ooh! That is a clean team fight, Freak, I believe is what we'll call that.
And it might be enough to close out the game. They've already got the wave. They're pushing into the bottom side of the map. And it's 20 seconds on most of the meaningful recalls in TSM. With such a lackluster week 1, turned it around in week 2, and aim to please in week 3. 3 wins in a row. TSM knocks down Dignitas.
Feel like we've had some educational content on the LCS today, Freak. Last game was Jungle Justice. This game was Team Fight Flanks. Lead your way to victory. TSM, clean ace in that last one. Broken Blade teleports in. Dardoch sections away the Kennen after Huni uses the ultimate, taking away the only real big threat that Dig had for the team fight. Once that's out of the way, they're completely scattered because they get flanked and surrounded. And TSM just dissect Dig on stage. So may have to change the answer to the this or that slide.
Yeah.
As TSM with a very one-sided win here over Dig.
Really well played. TSM 3 in a row. We had heard the reports of their demise, the memes around